Hey guys, Tony Denaro here. I know if you've been following me for the last year or you participate in my daily live streams or in my Discord, this topic is going to seem a little bit ridiculous, and it is ridiculous. But let's talk about what stocks I cover and why I choose to cover them. Let's get right into it. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. I've been trading for over 30 years in stocks, options, and more recently, crypto. I've got a degree in economics with a minor in banking and finance. And did you know there's over 5,000 companies listed in the US markets and somewhere well over 7,000 different tickers? So it's a little surprising to me always when someone gets their feelings hurt that Tony Denaro is talking about their ticker as if they owned the exclusive rights to ever talk about a stock. So let's talk about how I choose which stocks I talk about on any given day or any given video. It always makes me laugh when I hear someone say, Tony Denaro only knows one stock, don't listen to him about my ticker. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't understand the ebb and flow of this stock. As if someone who's been trading for 30 years can't quickly pick up the ebb and flow of a stock by looking at a chart, looking at some TA signals, and doing a few minutes of background research. And if you've participated in any of my live streams over the last year, or talked with me offline, or talked with me on Twitter or in Discord, you know that I've covered hundreds of stocks and crypto over the last year. You know, I've always been perfectly content just sitting here day trading by myself and with my small circle of friends. But there came a day where the amount of clickbait, the amount of hype, the amount of bad due diligence became so overwhelming that it got me upset that people were being taken advantage of and people were being given bad advice based on new investors who've been trading for maybe a couple months or only a year, giving out bad information, not understanding how to read balance sheets, income statements, 8K forms, annual reports. You know the drill. So one day I decided just to turn on the camera. I know I'm not that entertaining. I'm not here to entertain. I'm here to educate and inform. And we've been slowly building an audience of people who want this sort of information, people who don't want hype, people who don't want grift, people who want evidence-based, non-tinfoil hat, non-hype, non-clickbait, solid information that has been well thought out and researched by someone who understands the content that they're talking about. Now, granted, I make mistakes sometimes. I don't always get everything right. No one does. We are all only human. But I do put a lot of effort into making sure that when I come on camera and talk to you about something, that I'm pretty well versed and knowledgeable about the topic that I am talking about. I don't just randomly pick a ticker symbol and start talking about it without having done a fair amount of work looking into it first. Now, I'm not here for views, and I'm not here for subs, and I'm not here for money. I have my own businesses that I generate income from, and it's not YouTube. So how do I pick a stock ticker to talk about? Basically, it comes down to you, the viewer, the subscribers of this channel, the members of my Discord, the people that participate in the live streams and ask hundreds of good questions about different companies every single day. Now, maybe not coincidentally, a lot of other people are looking at these same ticker symbols because everyone is looking at the big movers of the day or the big movers of the week. And those are the tickers that generate a lot of questions. People wanting to know, do I like this stock? What do I think about this stock? What about the fundamentals of this stock? Is this a short squeeze? So it's not surprising that I have a list here, pages long, of tickers that people have asked me about. People want to know my thoughts about. How do I decide which ones get a special standalone video? Let's talk about that. The number one criteria is going to be if there is an overwhelming amount of questions or interest in that topic from my subscribers. It's easier for me to make a 5-minute video answering all your questions than to answer them over and over and over throughout the hours of the day, because everyone has the same questions, and it's much easier, much more efficient use of my time to knock that out in a 5-minute video, and then you can reference that at your own convenience. The second main reason that I would choose to make a video about a topic is if there is some timely information or a bunch of misinformation being put out about a ticker. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm bullish or bearish about a certain stock, but that I have identified some key due diligence that is being overlooked or purposely not talked about in the community of investors that are covering that stock. And one thing that I think is critical for me to do is to tell you my current position in a stock, whether I own it or don't own it, whether I bought it, whether I recently sold it, whether I have any open options, calls, or puts, or whether I'm just evaluating it as a potential future trade. And I actually think it's more valuable to you, the viewer, to get information from someone who maybe does not have a position in the stock, because then you know that they're coming from a position of no bias when they're giving you the information. Now, ultimately, that is up to you. If you'd rather go to a YouTuber who is rah-rah cheerleading something that they're heavily invested in, if you want that type of bias influencing your decisions, there are lots of channels out there like that. And there are absolutely some stocks like that I cover that I am currently invested in, and some that I'm just looking at potentially getting into, or maybe some that I got out of and I'm sharing with you the reason why. One final thing on that topic that you should probably know about me is in 30 years, I have never one time shorted a stock. I don't like the unlimited risk that shorting presents. If I'm negative on a stock, I will buy puts. And if I have puts on a stock that I'm covering, I will absolutely tell you that. Now, there's only so many hours in the day and only so many tickers that I can talk about in any given week. And I do enjoy also talking about macroeconomics, because that is an overriding influencer in the stock market, especially if you're a long-term investor. But if you have a particular ticker that you'd like my thoughts on, feel free to drop it down in the comments below and I will add it to the list and hopefully one day get to it. Some of the upcoming videos that I'm going to be talking about include a video series on quantitative tightening. I've got a series of options training videos that have been started and I'm still working on those. I'm going to be talking about EV companies, the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 EV companies. I've got a comparison I'm working on charging station companies. Man, the list just goes on and on and on. There's just never enough time in the week to get everything done, but I do put a lot of hours into it to give you guys my thoughts and the best information that I can share with you about these stocks and these companies. In closing, I'd just like to say I never shy away from discussion, from differing opinions. I love having a good debate about a company, about its potential, whether it's bullish or bearish. I really don't care. I welcome all discussion. What will be immediately blocked or removed from the comments is people who just come in to hurl an insult or say something inane or stupid. You're going to be blocked because you're not participating in any sort of meaningful dialogue or discussion. Some of those comments do make for a good laugh. I share them in the Discord so everybody can get a good chuckle at you, and then we move on with our day. For those of you who are actually here for meaningful discussion, whether you're on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, whatever, I'm always here as a resource to you to have a discussion, do a collab, bounce ideas off of, or just have a friendly chat offline about a ticker. I am Tony Denaro. I do want to thank you for taking a couple minutes out of your day for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out the door. I'd appreciate it if you are new here, if you'd take a second to buy and hold that subscribe button. Join me on one of my live streams during market hours. I try and live stream at market open and market close, time permitting. I do hope to see you on one of those where I answer your questions on stocks, options, crypto, real estate, entrepreneurship. No super chats ever required. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.
But I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine. But